Walter. I'm very happy to be here, especially since I spent last year working on a book on the topic. So I feel like, I've really been looking forward to exchanging some of this with people who know what I'm talking about. And so it's very satisfying for me to come and share lots of, sort of thinking, solitary thinking in a larger group of people discussion. How did I come to the Baroque? I got to it through a collaborative project that I'm working on with my co-editor, Luisa Mémoire from the University of Houston, who I met like around 2000 and who invited me to collaborate with her on a collection editorial project on the Baroque. And it's a collection that's going to come out from Duke University Press. It's called Baroque New Worlds, Transculturation, Representation, Counter-Conquest. And the good thing about this collection, it has some new essays on the Neo-Baroque and the Baroque and the New World Baroque, but it also has a section of foundational essays in which we translate essays that have never been translated into English before. For instance, José Lezama Lima's La Curiosidad Barroca, an essay by several essays by Carpentier, but also like as far back as Nietzsche. Maybe start with this Nietzsche short excerpts that you have. Maybe so it's really and Enriquez Oreña, we reprint De Campos. So the whole essay is kind of a genealogy of Baroque theory that is going to be. It's a little bit like the foundational section in ultra Baroque, but it's much bigger. So it's so with etc. So. And then I've also been working on my own book on the Baroque last year. So I have two Baroque, and basically I'm schizophrenically Baroque because I'm working on multiple Baroque projects. Okay, so let me get this started. Can we just, oops.
I think you just press F5.
Wait, I don't want to start yet. Well. Okay, let me just, you weren't supposed to look at this yet because I want to say something first, but I don't know how to make it disappear, so this is just the first slide. Okay, so my talk is drawn from a current book project in the Neo-Baroque in the Americas, which is a working title, and I have to find a much sexier title. Maybe you'll help me find a sexier title, maybe not, but anyway, I just want to say a few words about the book before I start what I'm going to talk about today. My project is a comparative study that places the Neo-Baroque, the recovery of the Baroque in 20th and 21st century literature, visual art, cultural theory, and film within a hemispheric American framework. It opens with a chapter on the US modernist poet T.S. Eliot, who recovered metaphysical poets, and ends with a chapter, a discussion of Chicano lowrider cars, which we already had this discussion about. In between, it ranges over very diverse territory. The major works of US modernist Juno Barnes, contemporary post-dictatorship literature and film from Chile and Argentina, and US Latino visual art. There are few literary and cultural phenomena that allow the researcher to range this far in pursuit of her topic, looking high and low in cultural expression, studying a multilingual archive, and looking at different media. There is the historical Baroque, there's the 20th century Neo-Baroque, and there's the new Mestizo New World Baroque that grew up in Spain's and Portugal's American colonies. The Baroque is a mobile phenomenon with a dizzying number of local adaptations. Like the Baroque before it, the Neo-Baroque spread in a non-linear fashion across multiple boundaries among languages, nations, even continents, ethnic groups, and disciplines. And that's exactly what Walter's talk this morning was about, the transfer of the Baroque as a traveling theory, a traveling concept. My book is devoted to re-theorizing the continuities of the Baroque and the Neo-Baroque, and I have several ideas of how this happens, and that's another discussion we can have, and to mapping specific and understudied portions of this complex transnational process, for example, the hemispheric American dynamics of the Baroque I'm very interested in. The book will contribute missing knowledge toward a fuller picture of the ongoing phenomenon of the Neo-Baroque, such as, the Neo-Baroque's presence in Anglo-American modernism that Americans never look for because they're all oriented toward the Protestant tradition and not to Catholic tradition, but Eliot and Barnes, very strong. And I'm also hoping to correct some long-standing misperceptions, for instance, that the Baroque stops south of the Rio Grande, it never enters the United States, or Canada, in fact, which you've already seen, is not true. And that it also is inherently conservative, which is also not true, because it's been subverted. Okay. More concretely, my talk today is based on a book chapter examining 2 Neo-Baroque films that were produced in the wake of the dictatorships that engulfed Latin America in the 1970s. Both films are cinematic adaptations of the literature and culture of the Hispanic Baroque. Ruiz's Mémoire des apparences, Memory of Appearances, circulated in the United States under the title Life is a Dream, the title of the adaptation of Calderón, is an adaptation of Calderón de la Barca's famous Golden Age play La Vida es Sueño from 1635. María Luisa Bembergs' Yo la peor de todas from 1990 is a cinematic biography of the celebrated Mexican Baroque poet Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, based on Octavio Paz's intellectual biography of Sor Juana, the Traps of Faith. I have to limit myself to discussing one cineast for reasons of time, so I'm focusing mostly on Ruizs, but I will have some comments on Bemberg. And I decided to present, because this is a sort of Baroque chapter with lots of different digressions in it, so I decided to tame the content by organizing this in the format of 4 propositions that I'm making here today. So let me, here's my first proposition. First proposition, a new cycle of Neo-Baroque expression, the anti-dictatorship Neo-Baroque, emerged in the wake of the right-wing dictatorships that engulfed the Southern Cone in the 1970s. It should be recognized alongside more well-known Neo-Baroque cycles, such as the avant-garde's revival of Baroque precursors, the generation of 1927, Damaso Alonso and his friends recovered Góngora, rehabilitated Góngora. Eliot rehabilitated the metaphysical poets. There's others, German expressionists, for instance, thought that they were Baroque, and so so there's a sense of avant-garde, literary avant-garde in the 1920s, a kinship with the Baroque for being moderns. They thought that the Baroques were more modern than 19th century literature. It's very interesting to find a precursor in the past. So here's an explanation, and that's such as the avant-garde's revival of the Baroque or the emergence of New World Baroque theory at mid-century in the works of Carpentier and Gassama Lima. It's another Baroque cycle. So all these cycles of the Neo-Baroque. And so my argument is that the post-dictatorship Neo-Baroque is another cycle of Neo-Baroque. It's specific, it has lots of reasons why. And here's my defense of this proposition.